Hi and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been with us before, welcome back. And if you just slid by, saw the title, and decided to click on, welcome. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. On the road to 500. The future me coming here real quick while I'm editing part 3 of the story time of Rupaul Saved Our Life after a boy got knocked out. So I just wanted to come. I didn't give a proper intro on this video, so I did tell y'all that we on the road to 500, so make sure you subscribe. And this part of the story, we ended off when Feisty, we got pulled away from the club and we were headed down Bourbon. So if you want to hear what happened to RuPaul Saving Our Life when old boy got knocked out, make sure you go to part 1 and part 2 to actually get up to date on what actually happened. And part 3 we're gonna go to now, and this is when we're leaving down Bourbon and Feisty is getting pulled away from the club. So stay tuned. There he is, and she's like throwing out vulgar languages to him and everything. So she runs to the bouncer and she was like, he needs to go to jail. He needs to go to jail. He puts his hands on me. He needs to go to jail. And so she's screaming and hollering that the dude needs to go to jail. So the bouncer was like, baby, we put him out. You know, it wasn't no thing. And the dude not even paying attention to her because he's still talking to the little girls, to the young ladies he's talking to. So she runs across the street to 2 other bouncers. That dude over there needs to go to jail. That dude over there put his hands on me. He needs to go to jail. So they like, who, baby? Who? So we like trying to grab Feisty, like, you know, don't pay her no mind. And she's like, so the bouncer's like, no, who? Like, they trying to figure out who it was. So the other bouncers across, so they called to the bouncers across the street, like, hey, you know, somebody from your club. And I was like, nah, we put him out. He good. So then the dude noticed that it was Feisty was talking about him. So he turned to look like, what's up? So Feisty goes to charge for him. You put your hands on me. So she goes to charge for him. And as she's going to charge for her brother grabbed her. He's like, stop it. So the dude like looking like, what the world? You know. And so he just like standing there looking crazy. So the girl's like looking like, kind of, what you involved in? And so, you know, we got her. So we like pulling her. So we start walking away to the hotel. Because at this point I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to walk away. And as I'm starting to walk away, her and her husband going back and forth. I can't believe you didn't take up for me. I just can't believe. So she's just going off on him. So they're going back and forth. She's calling him out his name. He's telling her that she's disgraced that she even acting like this. She's making everybody's experience so bad. And he's just over it. And they're screaming at the top of their lungs. She's going back and forth with him. She's screaming and hollering. And I'm continuing to walk. Now, as I walk, each block on Bourbon is a little different. Some lively, some quiet. And that time of night, a lot of the bars and stuff some of them start to close, the ones that are not as lively. And there's like the streets that have the stores, like the boutique stores. And they're usually on this block. And the block gets kind of dark. Well, we got to that street that's kind of dark with the clothing stores. But all of them was closed. So it's kind of dark. So we're walking down that part of the street, and as we're walking down that part, there's a guy walking towards us. And as he's walking towards us, like I said, I'm in the front. Brother-in-law and sister-in-law is behind. Well, brother and sister-in-law is behind. And the guy says, good night. Say good night. They say good night. And we continue to walk. Next thing I hear is Feisty saying, you bumped into me. So I'm like, who in the world? And the guy was like, I said my bad, baby, my bad. And she was like, you tried to touch my butt. You bumped into me. You tried to touch my butt. And he was like, baby, no, I wasn't. I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bump you. You bumped me and you did not. You bumped me and you tried to touch my butt. He was like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. So her husband says, look, dude, you bumped my wife. So at this point, we all stop and we turn around because we now know it's them. And we start kind of walking back because we had walked up a few steps. So we start walking back towards them. As we're getting back towards them, Maureen goes and spits in the guy's face. The guy's like, dude! And he just swung back and pop! He hits Maureen. Maureen swings over and hits the ground. I have never seen nobody get knocked out like that in my life. He literally turns and falls, right? And as he falls, I go, and I had walked back, and I'm just like standing there like, and Feisty goes, oh my God! And the guy just takes his hand and goes, pop! And she goes back like this. And sister-in-law said, he hit her! And I'm looking like, I don't know what you want me to do. And I'm like, so I'm standing there. Literally, I look up. From once the guy hit, he steps back. 5 guys started like walk running towards us, right? And I'm like, oh Lord. He was like, dude, spit on me, dog. And so they all like start walking back. And then there was a crowd behind them, like start walking towards us. And I'm like, oh Lord, what are we about to do? This door opens from this closed, like iron bars. It opens, lights flashing. This big, tall, beautiful Rupaul walks out. And I'm like, that's Rupaul. Oh my God. She had to be about 6'7". She walks out. She picks up Marine, puts him over her shoulder, grabs my arm. As she has him over her shoulder, she grabs brother and pulls him. Another beautiful lady with long black hair and a hat like mine. She comes out with her. She grabs Feisty and helps her pull brother-in-law. And sister-in-law comes running behind us, and she walks us into the store and closes the door. And I'm looking like, oh, I say, you look like RuPaul. And she looks and she smiles, but she doesn't have RuPaul's smile. Look just like RuPaul, but does not have RuPaul's smile. That's how I knew it wasn't RuPaul. I was like, oh, a female impersonator. Okay. As soon as I said that, the door opened from upstairs. This beauty, I have never in my, she looked like a statue. She was about 7'5". She was so tall with 6-inch stiletto heels. She grabbed her purse off of they had like a shelf on top. She grabbed the purse and she put it under her arm. She walks downstairs. She said, she looked at me first. She looked at me and she said, walk with me. I'm going to walk y'all to your car. And I said, we're staying at the Western. She said, walk with me and I'll walk you to the Western. All of y'all walk directly with me. When I cross the street, you walk across the street. When I walk, you walk. Let's go. She opens up the door. RuPaul steps out and stands there by the door. We walk out. She has her purse under her arm. She has me on one side. She has Feisty to the other side. She has Marine next to Feisty. And she has brother and sister-in-law behind us. And she said, walk behind. And she walks. And when she walks with a stride. The guys across the street said, "Oh, yeah, I had to get a man with a dress to walk you out to the car." And she said, "Say all that on that side of the street. If you walk on this side of the street, we will have a problem." And she continues to walk. And as she walking, the guy says, "And what you gonna do?" And she said, "Have a lovely night and don't try me." And then her voice changed. "And don't you ever try me." And she kept walking. And they stayed back there laughing and talking, but they never walked past. They never walked up, never tried to run behind, none of that. And we continued to walk. She walked us directly to the hotel, down Canal. She walked us to the hotel. As we got to Canal Street, she turned back up and she walked us until we had to go through the back, through the back of the hotel. When we get back there, she says, "Do not leave this hotel tonight. Have a good night." She turned and she walked away. And we all like looking like. So we get inside. We get to the elevator. She's gone. Feisty says, "Go get your husband. We're going to find them. We need to find them now. Go get your husband. We need to find them now. Because he knocked him out." And so her husband's like, "Shut up. Be quiet." And at this point, his face is starting to swell. She's like, "Go get your husband. We're going to get them. We're going to get them." Now, she didn't say none of that when she was with the lady. She didn't say a word. So I'm like, "Girl, I ain't going to get my husband for that foolishness. They got too many people out there. I'm not about to do that one. Key, go get your husband. We're going to find them." I said, "Feisty, go to bed." So we get upstairs, top floors. And Feisty's like, "Come on, go get your husband. Go get your husband." I said, "Feisty, go to bed." I said, "I'll see y'all in the morning." So I go to my room. She goes to her room. She calls me. "Can you wake your husband up, please? Because now his face is swelling. His eyes are going to be shut closed. Can you get your husband?" I said, "Feisty, good night." And I hung up the phone. So the next morning, after I made Feisty go to bed, 11:30, Feisty calls me and says, "Can we check out and head home? Because hubby's face doesn't look right. And I really think we need to get back home." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, how about we go ahead and we'll go pick up some beignets while everybody's packing and everything. And we'll get some po' boys to go on the road and we'll get some chicken." And she was like, "That sounds good, thank you." I was like, "Since y'all didn't get breakfast and everything, and I'll call your brother and your sister-in-law, and so we can all get on the road." And she was like, "Sounds great." I said, "Okay, fine." So we hang up the phone, and I called them, and they were like, "Well, why don't we just get our bags and everything now, and then we'll go with y'all, and everybody can go, and we'll get beignets, and we'll get po' boys, and we'll get on the road." I was like, "Okay, cool." So that's what we did, and we all checked out about 12. So we got checked out. The ride was very, very quiet. Everybody was like just quiet, even looking at his face. Her husband's face, Marine's face, his face just looked so swollen. His eyes was shut. And so we was like all quiet the whole ride home. When we finally get to Feisty's house to drop everybody off, Feisty says, "Key." I said, "Huh?" She said, "I have a question for you." I said, "What's that?" She said, "Was that Rupaul?" And her husband was like, "Yeah, what's that, Rupaul?" That actually brought me back, like woke me up. "Was that Rupaul?" And we all just fell out laughing. I said, it was a Rupaul lookalike, but yeah, that was Rupaul. I knew it was Rupaul. And everybody just cracked up laughing. Now, to remind you, the whole ride was quiet. Nobody was saying anything. Like, the music was playing, everybody was quiet. But as soon as we got there, she asked that question, we laughed so hard. And I tell you, that Monday at work, that was the running joke. Rupaul saved our life.